Thank you for staying with us here on KTN Business today. My name is Peter Akaba, and we're here for the second part of our discussion around the fact that the government of Kenya embarked on a journey to transform service delivery involving digitization, aiming to improve service delivery, of course, to enhance efficiency and promote greater transparency and accountability. And again, I have with me in studio Lydia Njaga. She's Director of Business Development and Strategy at the Computer Revolution Africa Group. We also have in studio Robin Jugu from Amazon Web Services, and of course Lavinia Muthoni, who is the founder and managing partner at Grale Africa. To the second part of before we took the break, we essentially were discussing the innovative aspects of this conversation and how the private sector can play a role. Very briefly, how do you think then that crystallizes into this effort?
For us is to offer solutions and offer security around those solutions, because as we are sending most of our information out there at a global level, then we have to make sure that they are secured. So we work around securing our organizations through the services that we offer them, and for us it's really been a big thing for us, so that we ensure that as the people are using these technology or applications, they are well secured, they are not being targeted. And as you look at the conveniences that we are having right now, conveniences where anybody can be able to work from anywhere. As we're getting these government services, we have to ensure that the people that are using these services are well taken care of and are well secured from a solution perspective, and you have to give them the confidence that they're actually being covered. Yes.
I want to come to you, Lavinia, and the fact that recently there was a forum to award the best in this sort of public sector service delivery involving digitization. Very briefly, give us an insight into why that happened and what you hoped to achieve.
So I think I'll take you back a step and just explain what our organization does so that it makes sense as to why we conceptualize DTPS. So Grale Africa is a strategic B2B marketing and social impact company, and we specialize within the technology sector, supporting companies that are looking to grow their business or grow their brands. So seek new business opportunities. So what we did is that we realized there's a gap in the market, and that gap came in the fact that we are seeing the government really digitalizing, really embracing technology. And what is happening is that even with any other organization, there are successes and then there are hurdles. And those hurdles are affecting both the leaders in public sector and us as citizens. So as players in the technology sector, we ask ourselves, what else can we do? Because this is a sector we have invested in as a business and is very important for us in terms of growth. So we conceptualized the idea of the Digital Transformation Public Sector Forum and Awards, and created this as a platform where public sector leaders can be able, or rather came together in Mombasa and had a platform where they were discussing how the digitalization process is going internally, sharing ideas, candid conversations, best practices, but beyond that also looking at what can the industry also contribute in that conversation. So it was more public sector talking, but also having industry leaders chiming into that conversation and then create a way forward. But then the awards bit became even better, because what it does is it recognizes those who are ahead, and then it also motivates those who are not doing what should be done. And also we're hoping that even next year we get better projects, because what that means is that with quality projects, it goes back to the fact that those projects are actually projects that affect how operations are run in those organizations and service delivery to citizens.
Okay. I want to finish off with you, Robin, and the question on the minds of many consumers of these services is about data security, global company handling sensitive data, stories about this data being domiciled offshore in many different places across continents and that sort of thing. How would we put that kind of conversation to rest? How is this infrastructure going to help us be able to access these services safely for, let's say, posterity, but also with the knowledge that we are not exposing ourselves to things that will put our data to, well, in someone else's hands?
No, thank you, Peter. So really at the heart of offering cloud computing is really a trust conversation. Because when you think about using infrastructure to deliver whatever services. It's really about ensuring that whatever resources our customers come to us for, governments or people in different aspects of public sector, whether you're talking about compute, storage, networking, generative AI, whatever service they need, they really at the heart of it want to be able to access it at a secure level. And I can tell you that at Amazon Web Services, we say that security is job zero. That before we even start innovating, we ensure we actually innovate with redundant, with the risk and redundancy of failure actually right at the onset. And what that means, therefore, is that we have people every day that are ensuring that any new vulnerabilities that are being discovered, that these are being addressed. Over and above that, of course, without going into too much technicalities, we do have continuous security accreditations and certifications, depending on the request. We get these from intelligence, defense authorities, different security organizations across the world that are keen on ensuring that whatever we are offering, that it's at the most secure level. And the beauty about it is that, yes, we might be working with the National Security Authority or we might be working with the country's defense, but the same grade of security is accessible to the 1 or 2 man startup in any part of the world. And then to enhance, because there might be particular reasons, whether you're talking about you want to minimize like how quickly you can access your data. We also have continued to invest in infrastructure, not just in Africa, but also in Kenya. And therefore we have specific infrastructure that then allows and allays the kind of fears that any user would have.
Okay, interesting conversation there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for taking the time. I think that sort of brings us to the conclusion of that discussion, and essentially the fact that the digitization and transformation of public sector services is definitely a plus for many different people and meant to bring you convenience and meant to, well, make life easier for each and every consumer of these services. No, and with that, I think we go back to the conversation in studio, looking at what sort of news has been transpiring today and the subsequent discussion that now has in store for us. Now, please take it away.
Thank you very much, Peter Okaba, for that discussion on matters digitization. And one of the sectors that has really digitized is the